the world. This is Radio W.O.R.K.S, your host, Jossine Abrahams for Springs of Life. Thank you for tuning in today. We are here this morning. I've got a special guest with me who is going to contribute towards my topic. As you know, I've been speaking about reinventing my life, talking about everything what happened in my book and my life and my experience as a single person. So what I went through and everything else as a single African woman, culture-wise and everything what happened through my book. Today, I am going to introduce a special guest who is with me this morning. Her name is Claire. Claire is a single person. She's been single for a short time. She is a professional in the health profession. She is a midwife. She is a mother. She is a Christian. And Claire has got quite a bit to contribute towards my topic. As a single woman, I'm just going to interview Claire so that you can get the idea of where I'm coming from and where I am going. I'm so pleased to have you today, Claire. Good morning. Welcome to the show, Springs of Life.
Thank you, Jossina. I'm happy to be here with you. And it's a privilege to contribute to your book and your discussion this morning.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Right. As a single woman, I know you haven't been single for a long time, Claire, but I just want you to explain to our audience the experience and the challenges you have faced as a single woman. And if you start from the beginning, how long have you been single and what has happened to cause you to be single? What happened in your life?
Yeah, thank you, Jossina. I've been single for the past 4 years, and it was a shock to me because my husband decided to relocate back home to Nigeria due to pressure he had been getting from his parents. The parents were just putting a lot of pressure. He should come home and establish, not discussing it as a family with the wife. So he made a sudden decision with like 3 months notice to relocate back to Nigeria. So that was a shock to my system. In terms of the financial aspect of it, because it affected me financially, because as you all know, in this country, even where you have the couple living together, the London by itself is an expensive place to live in. And then having to bear the burden of, as a single parent, to bear the burden alone with a child. I have a son, and I'm still responsible for him financially and in terms of support, emotionally, physically, and all that. So having to cope as a single parent financially was a bit, of an issue. So I had to get myself together, do extra work, which I'm still doing, to be able to pay the bills, pay the rent, maintain the house, maintain the car, so many things like that. So it's been very tough. But here I am today. I think I'm coping well. And then in terms of, as a single parent, loneliness is another issue because you are lonely, you come from work, having a stress day, you need somebody to talk to. You can't just be disturbing your friends on the phone because they've got their own busy lifestyle as well. So you can't disturb them, be burdening them or, overwhelming them with your own problems. But if you have your husband or your partner with you, it's very easy. You can exchange ideas and discuss issues about the day's work. So that was a bit of a difficulty for me, being alone in the house, and then my son will go out to his education, school, come back, he wants to relate with his own mates. So loneliness is a big thing here. And when you are a single mom, you get all sorts of insults. Even your close friends, your closest friend, who has been very good because you have a partner or husband with you, living with you, when your partner leaves or you are single, the friend will not want to relate with you because maybe she's scared you might want to befriend her husband behind her because you are lonely. So there's that suspicion there. So, and it affects the friendship. because what you used to do before together, like inviting each other to outings, it will be reduced because you say, oh yeah, I haven't got time. Or maybe as a family you go out, your friend's family and yourself, and you won't be able to do that again together. And in terms of the child, the upbringing of the children or the child is good for a mother and a father to live together, especially in this country where you have the problems with parents who with single parenthood, where you have the father living alone with the children, or where they will have the mother alone, living alone as single parent. You know, the sorry, the in terms of that loneliness, as a single parent, the child, you will be looking for friendship outside, and there's discipline, more discipline. When a mother and a father live together, they can together correct the child, monitor the child well, physically, emotionally discuss with the child, and the child is likely to listen to you. But when you are as a single mother, especially, the the child will say, or the children, they know you have less time, they know you are not that, won't be that effective anymore. So they do take advantage of that. They can challenge you. A child who has not been challenging you before, when your husband was around, when you are single, will challenge you because he or she knows you are more vulnerable. So that affects the family. And in terms of morality as well, it is very, 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 very negative to be a single mother. So it's been very difficult, but I just thank God today. I'm coping, and then my son is doing well with his education, with his friends, the friends he keep is doing very well. So it's not easy.
Yes, I do resonate with Claire quite a lot because, as she says at the beginning, that the in-laws are some of the people who causes tension in our African culture marriage because they are involved all the way. They get involved into your life. They get involved. Some even get involved into your finances because they are putting pressure on their own son to say, okay, we need this because you are the firstborn. No matter how your big family is, no matter how your wife is, whether she's working or not working, they don't really consider that because they still think your husband is their son and is the breadwinner for the whole culture. When I say culture, I refer to the whole tribe because in Africa, they really think that once he's married, yes, he's got a wife. The wife is there to bear children and not really understand that. She is now a human being. Things have changed. We are in the 21st century where she is going to work as well and contributing towards the house. And when it happens like that, people don't really realize how much impact it put on the other person, referring to the wife who has been married into this family. There is a lot of tension to her household as well, financially, physically, emotionally, as she has explained, as well as the child, as she says, that the child won't listen. The disciplinary, if you try to put discipline to the child, you won't win when you're a single parent, because mostly what happens now is when you're a single parent, when you have been separated from your husband and you are now by yourself and you're now raising this child by yourself, most of the things, the morals of being a family has been reduced because there is now one parent family. So what happens now? She won't or he won't listen to you. So the result of this again is it's either that child won't get married or she won't get married. She wants to be independent. She feels that this is the way to go. She feels because my mom and dad are separate. My mom and dad have done this. So she still feels that that's the way to go because there's nothing she knows better than seeing only her mom or his dad being by himself. So she thinks that's the way to go. Even though you try to preach to them as children that this is the way to go, because they learn from us. When they see mom and dad separate, they are not together anymore. They still think, okay, if they are not together, they are still living. For children, they don't see it because they don't see the financial implications. They don't see the emotion because once you are a child, you don't know where the money is coming from. You don't know how mommy is struggling, how mommy is putting food on the table. You still be happy that she's going to work and coming back. But what they don't realize is mommy is doing extra shifts to make ends meet. So as children, they don't see that. When the mommy says that I'm going to work extra shift, she still thinks that, mommy is enjoying it, not knowing exactly where she's coming from. Because as a parent, you want to make sure that your child has everything. Your child doesn't feel like neglected. Your child doesn't feel like the other partner is not there. So as a parent, you try to do the most important thing to make sure that there's food on the table, the child is clean, is dressed properly, and always make a happy face for the child's sake so that he thinks everything is okay. Though inwardly, mommy is struggling financially, emotionally, and physically as well, because we need that touch as somebody's around, as a husband, as a partner to be around for morale, to support you, to let things go. So as she says, I resonate a lot with her because I've gone through it. As I always say, I've gone through this in my book. So Claire is just making a cream top up to my book, which is what I'm happy for, because you are hearing it from another perspective, from another woman who is a Black woman, who is a woman of the same culture like me, who knows what happens when you are in love, the in-laws are involved, what happens with the family getting involved to your lifetime, and what happens to your life after somebody has left. It's good enough that he has left in a good way. What if it was death which had left this marriage? What if it was ill health which had caused this? What if it was the husband who was, going around and causing a lot of friction in the house because you are seeing other women? But then I'm just happy that my friend here had to separate due to the issues of the in-laws, and he decided to go. And the other thing which makes me to be happy is she is in this environment, this society, the Western world, where she's able to work, where she's able to get a job, where she's able to feed herself, to feed a child, even to put petrol, fuel in that car. She's able to do it. She's independent. She's an independent woman, which I'm glad of, because tables have turned round now. We are in the 20th century. We are women, but we are still doing the best of it, the best of life, the best we could do for our life to move on. Anyway, back to you, Claire.
Yes.
I just want to say to you, how do you feel about all this, what you have experienced so far? Have you learned anything about your husband leaving you and going home? What have you learned inwardly, emotionally? What has it caused you to do?
Thank you, Josephine. What it has, what I have learned from this single motherhood is that it has empowered me to take advantage of the situation I'm in positively. If there's any course, I'm doing a course, extra course, to make sure I get more pay, I get more good job. So, and also, it has made me to be strong in terms of being able to cope, because there are at times in the house, there are some things I need to set up, like repair or buying a new fan. Recently, I bought a new electric fan, and then I had to set it up myself. If my husband was around, I'll say, oh, you have to wait for him to do it for me. So there are things that I have been able to, encourage myself with, that whatever a man can do, a woman can do it much, much better. And in terms of my relationship with my son, we have a very good bonding now. The bonding is so good. If he wants to do anything, Mom, what do you think I should do about this? He wants my opinion. Unlike before, there was not much that closeness when his father was here living with us. And it made me to be more responsible. And I don't want to disappoint him. I try to make sure that before you can train somebody, Before you want your son, your child or children to listen to you, you too, you have to be in a very good position. You do the right thing, although I've been doing the right thing anyway. So, but that encourages me to do more writing. So, because they say experience is the best teacher, and you have to, and these children, they're watching us. They imitate us by our behavior, by what we say. They imitate. So you got to know what you are doing as a single mother, and that has encouraged me. And in terms of God, religion, it made me to be closer to God. I'm a Christian, like what the Jossine said earlier on. I go to church, I listen to the word of God. Where I am not able to go to church, I put on my TV and listen to the religious channels. And I gain from them the words of encouragement, how to be more prayerful, and that has helped me a lot. And it has strengthened me. And in terms of friendship, I I'm more friendly with my colleagues or my church people who are very understanding, who are not fake. I move closer to them, and at times I just go do my activities, go to the gym. That's to engage my time if I have a free time, or at times I do window shopping. So this has helped me to be more, positive and to empower myself. So there's no room for any loneliness again, and I'm more, outgoing and more positive. So
That's very nice, because I know I did suffer, because maybe because I was still in Africa, I didn't have a lot of ways to overcome this, and I took it so badly that it stayed in me for long. But I'm so happy that you, as a friend, I've known you for quite a long time now. I've known you for over 10 years whilst you're working in the hospital and everything.
yes.
And our friendship has grown so well, and I've known what you go through and what makes you happy as a friend. I'm quite happy for you that you have gone, from strength to strength, through religious values and through your work, through your independence. When you're not with somebody else, you are independent. You can do whatever you want at your own space, at your own time, at your own, at your own chosen moment. So I'm so happy that Claire has cleared her mind. Claire is now able to do everything she wants, and she's independent. She's an independent woman. She's working so hard. She's doing so much. And she has even done so much, because she has gone back to university and she's doing her master's right now, which is a good thing. And she is traveling all over again, because she's independent. Last week she was in Spain, or she was in France, and she went over to America last month. So she is traveling. She's doing whatever she wants, what she loved to do. Maybe because she's now free. She hasn't got anybody to report to, anybody to talk to. Because why do I say to report to? In my culture, when you are married, you are not by yourself, and you cannot do things by yourself. You cannot just walk up and say, today, I've decided I'm going to America tomorrow. You have to plan this. You have to make sure that your husband has agreed to that. Uh, as you are two people together, because you can't do anything by yourself and just tell him that this is what I want, this is what I'm going to do. It's again the financial pressures, because he will have to tell you, no, we need to buy this first, I need to do this, or I need to send money to my parents back home in Africa, they need money. So you become independent again. When you are single, you gain your power, you become somebody who is yourself. Whatever you do, you become fearless. That's why I like a single life again. I'm so happy that you are managing. I'm so happy that you are doing well. So what would you say to other single people who might be undergoing the same experience of being single, and they are afraid, they don't know? In churches, we have people who talk about their experiences as well. Some people come upstairs, they go upstairs at the pulpit and testify about their life. Some people testify even crying. How would you counsel them as somebody who has experienced it, and somebody who has done it, and somebody who has been through it? And some people might be struggling with their children and don't know what to do. What advice would you give to them, Claire?
Yeah. Thank you. The advice I will give to them is that they need to be strong, because no matter the situation, you should value you yourself. It's when you are independent, when you are strong, you will be emotionally, you should be strong. Physically, you should be strong. And psychologically, you need to be strong to be able to look after yourself as well as the family, your children. Because if you are weak or you keep on being emotional, crying day in, day out, that cannot solve the problem. So, secondly, you need to empower yourself with education.
Right.
With education, you can never go wrong.
Right.
When you are empowered with education, you financially, it becomes automatic. You get a good job financially, and then you are independent. And then you'll be able to have a meaningful life for yourself and your children or your family. So it's you got to make, and then thirdly, you got to make yourself happy, because happiness comes from within. When you are happy, you'll be able to do so a lot of things. So, and that is the way I've been able to cope. I make myself happy whenever. It's not that I don't go through emotional issues at times, but I tend to say, okay, which way forward? I need to move on. I tend to think, how can I solve this problem? Not dwelling on the problems, which a lot of people do. I know there are people who've got different characters. Some have got very, they are emotionally very soft, and they are not strong. But we need to empower ourselves. Move with friends also who will support you to uplift your spirit. Not moving with friends that will put you down or be looking for your faults. So if you find somebody like that, you're moving with somebody that makes you feel low, that is not your friend. That's not the kind of person you need to be. So just empower yourself and get engaged with your time. Don't dwell at home watching TV all the time, because on TV, just saying, as you know, we get a lot of news that are very depressing. War here, war there.
Right.
So you don't need to listen. You watch all those things. Make sure you watch TV that will make you happy. Positive.
Yes.
So that's how I've been coping.
Well done, Claire, because that is the way to go. That is the way to go. If you need your life to be empowered, you need to read empowering books. You need to move along with people who are positive, people who are like-minded people who are doing something, people who are going somewhere, people who are really eager for life, because we need this life going. We need to work on ourselves as well as for our children to grow and be better people. So as long as you are aware of that, we are not going to close this. I just want to introduce my director. I'm sorry, Marina, I forgot you were there. Marina is here with us. Marina is the director of Radio W.O.R.K.S, and she is here with us. She has been listening in the background. And Marina, if you'd like to contribute on this topic, please.
Wow, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm so pleased you are here listening to these amazing ladies. And I was thinking today that happiness is what everybody wants. And happiness is not something you can chase. Happiness is not another car or another husband even, or another holiday. Happiness is that divine essence you have inside and you hold it. And it's not fair to hold on. You have to bring it out into the world. Find out what it is. Put your name on it and bring it out, because the world is waiting on you. And there is never, never going to be a better time than now. Ladies, I'm so grateful you are sharing your stories and you open your heart, because people are afraid of speaking about happiness. They will talk about anything else, but everybody will avoid happiness. And unless we are facing happiness and all the issues that are coming with happiness, which is nothing else but the relationship you create with yourself first, we are not going to change the way we look at life. We are not going to understand that it's not an external exercise. Happiness is happening inside.
That's
And you
right.
have so much of it that you have to bring it out. You can't hold it anymore, and you have to share it with the outside world. I really
Absolutely.
love, Claire, what you said about creating a relationship with your son while building yourself up, getting the strength to understand your talent, your gifts, your capabilities, your existing abilities, because most people talk about possibilities and they move the goal towards another time, but they don't set a time for that goal. Where what you did is exactly the opposite. You put a time and date on everything. You decided that your son goes to school each day, and you done that daily. You decided that you are going back into education, and you done that brilliantly. You decided that you are going to travel the world and understand what world really means, and experience, make yourself available to great experiences. You put a date on it, you bought the plane ticket, and you met the people you had to meet to help you understand what you are made of. And I really love when, Jossine, you said, well, you said to yourself, well, it's time for me to share. Because by sharing your own story, which was maybe at times embarrassing, maybe could make you look like a failure, who knows? Everybody's different. People will judge you. But you just seen, you decided that you'll never let other people tell you who you are. You will tell them who you are. And that's exactly what's happening now. You are telling the world what you are made of. And look at you. You have your own radio show. You inspire so many people all over the world. And you come on air each time thinking of others, because you know this is not about you. This is not even about Claire. This is about the people out there who are waiting for the good news. And the good news, it's each one of you. From all of us, until next time, is goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.